ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday. It's that time of the week or that day of the week that we speak about what happened over the weekend. There's a lot that happened over the weekend. Some people are crying, some people are happy, some people they are not sure where their teams are going. But look, that's how the premiership is all about. That's how the world is all about. There is uncertainty. If there was certainty, there was no need for us to play football. There was no need for football to be played around the world, because you know that Manchester United will win, Manchester City will win, Liverpool will win, Chelsea will win, Wolves will lose, Sunderland will lose, and all those kind of things. So there won't be any reason. But look, that's why it's football, right? Anyone can beat anybody in the Premiership. Anyone can beat anybody in La Liga. Anyone can beat anybody um in Germany or in France, wherever the game is being played. Look, I want to start with Wolves this morning, right? They've decided to fire their coach Victor Pereira, right? Look, I thought if I was Victor Pereira, I could have left pre-season or just after the previous season, right? Because the signs were there. There was a problem, right? They had to fight through thick and nail to make sure that they survive relegation last season. And look, during the season, during the off season, they decided to sell their best players. So what do you expect? Right? What do you expect? Right now, their best player is a defensive midfielder, right? Who is Marshall Munetsi. The rest, they are just like an average bunch of players. So if I was Victor Pereira, I could have left, right? Because when they got the money, I think they got 60, 65, 70 million, whatever amount that they were going to get from Manchester United and all the other teams they sold players from, right? Who do they invest in? They didn't even invest in quality players. So what do you expect? What do you expect? Now they've got only 2 points. They haven't won. They only have two draws. So what are you expecting, right? I should have thought also that they could have, looking at how Victor Pereira fought throughout the end of last season, they could have given him up to January and go and buy players so that they can then rate him. But they decided to leave. Unfortunately, he has to go. Now, if I was also Wolves, could have fired Victor Pereira just after the end of last season. Why should I do that? Because I looked at it and say, okay, now that we need to change, we need to revamp the team. We need to revamp the club, right? Let the coach leave, let all these players leave, bring in new players, bring in a new coach. As much as they wanted continuity, the signs were there that the coach is not doing well, the players, the current players are not doing well, and all those kind of things. But they've decided to keep him up to 10, 11 games, whatever it is, and now they're in trouble, right? West Ham just won yesterday, and what is it? Nottingham Forest drew with Manchester United. So it's crazy. The other teams there that are on the bottom side, they are picking up points, and Wolves is struggling and struggling. Looking at Sunderland, who actually were promoted last season, because the idea or the norm should be the clubs that were promoted last year, when they come into this into the Premiership, they struggle, right? But Sunderland is doing well. Actually, they should be number four, number five, somewhere up there. Leeds is also up there, and all those kind of things. So it's going to be a very very difficult season for Wolves, and I wonder who they are going to bring in. Already there is a rumor that they want to bring in their former coach Gary O'Neill. For me, he's one of those coaches that you know he's a good coach. He did very well with Wolves previously, and he should be able to do very well with them as well. But the idea is not about the coach. The idea is to bring in quality players, right? There are a lot of quality players all over the world. Bring them in, give the coach time, whether you get relegated or not. Give these players time, give the coach time, and build from there. Because the danger about being relegated is that you may not come back. you may not come back. There's a lot of teams that were relegated, and now look where they are now, right? Some are even now going bankruptcy and all those kind of things. So it's difficult for teams to survive in the lower divisions. So that's what I'm just wanted to say about Wolves. I just wish them well. I wish O'Neill, if O'Neill comes, I wish him well. There's also rumor of Carrick trying to get the job. I don't know if he wants to do that, but look, that's for Wolves owners to decide. The second issue is about these two guys, right? These two guys has done so well this season, and even previous seasons, right? Declan Rice and Moises Caicedo. These are the best. Uh, should I say defensive midfielders or should I say midfielders, right? The thing about Declan Rice is that he's a defensive midfielder, but sometimes he's being used as a central midfielder, right? So that he can also go and join the attack. That's why he's got more goals, more assists, and all those kind of things than Moise Caicedo. Moises Caicedo is more sitting, right, just after just behind the defenders, right? Moises Caicedo is more good at breaking down play. As well as running with the ball and all those kind of things. But of late, he has been creating, he has been scoring, he has been doing almost everything. So for me, don't think we need to compare the two. I think we just need to enjoy the goodness in them, the brilliance of them, the skill they have, right? Remember those years when we had your Kantes, your Makaleles of this world, right? We just enjoyed the way they played football, right? And now this is the time for these two players to do the best they can, to be the best in the world. And you see, think Rice was bought 100 million and Moy was slightly above, probably 105 or 110 million, whatever. It's worth it, right? It's worth it because now they're showing their talent out there. The only challenge that I have is with Enzo Fernandez. Of course, he's playing well, and of course, but I don't think he's reached the level of 110, 115 million that we bought him for. Of course, 90 million, yes, but not more than 100 million. But who am I to say? If a club has got more money to buy, let them go and buy players because that's how it is. But well, Chelsea won 1-0 against Tottenham. And look, um, this is what I want to say, right? Chelsea play very, very well against top teams, right? But with middle table teams and bottom of the log teams, Chelsea struggles, right? And this is where the difference is in terms of what? In terms of winning the league. When you look at Arsenal, you look at City, they beat these teams up, right? They scored three goals. Like yesterday, City scored three against Bournemouth. You will see when we meet Bournemouth, right? We are going to struggle with them. But City doesn't even look at that. They score. Arsenal doesn't even care who they are playing against. This is whether they are playing about a relegated team or they're playing against a City or Chelsea. They're just cruising. So this is what Chelsea needs to learn. They need to learn to understand that it doesn't matter who they are playing against. If they're playing against a lower team, to bottom of the table team, they must win. Whether it's 1-0 or 2-0 or 5-0, let it be. If you are playing Tottenham, if you're playing City, so you have to go and compete. That's the idea because you cannot go 2 seasons and still saying we have got difficulties in playing low block teams. We've got difficult. No, if you look at the team that played over the weekend, right? The wingers did almost everything. Right, that's what you need to do. They were attacking. They were first on the ball. They were first on the second balls. The energy was there. The pressing was there. Everything was there. But when you play against these small teams, Chelsea disappears, right? They disappears. They will have all the ball at like 10, 15, no, like 90% ball, and then they draw. or they'll lose 1-0 with just a throw in or something like that, right? So this is what Chelsea needs to learn. They need to learn that. Look, guys, we need to give to remove our heads for Haaland. Haaland is one of the best strikers in the world. He's doing the same. This day he's scoring and like nobody's business. So this is what I've always say, that like Harry Kane and Haaland, these are the best players. These are the best number nines in the world at the moment, and it's just wonderful to see them play. You can see your Yokereses and whatever, they haven't reached that level, and I'm not sure if they'll reach that level, because when you look at Yokeres, he is almost the same age with Haaland, and it's difficult to get to that point because Haaland is just scoring goals. But when you look at your Corres and all these other number nines that have just joined, they are strikers, yes, but those are the people that I think they are more on the level of Nicholas Jackson, right? Where today they play very well, very, very well, and then you go home and you enjoy, you say we've got the best striker in the world. Then next week they are nowhere to be found. So well done to Haaland. He's scoring goals and but one thing that I've also noticed about your Haaland of this world is that you don't allow him to run with the ball, right? The minute he runs with the ball, he will score. So when you play other teams where they make sure that they disturb him here and there, he gets frustrated and he doesn't score, right? It's either you mark him or you avoid situations where he has the ball, because normally he also scores with his head and all those kind of things. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's all about the weekend. Enjoy your working week, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Go further. Bye bye.